The number of medical doctors in thousands in the United States during the period from 1980 through 2009 can be modeled by the polynomial function f of x equals 0.070x squared plus 15.79x plus 463.3, where x equals 0 corresponds to 1980, x equals 1 corresponds to 1981, and so on. Use this model to approximate the number of doctors to the nearest thousand in each given year. And we have 1980, 1995, and 2009. So we begin with 1980. Remember that we were told that x is equal to 0 corresponds to 1980. So we want to find f of 0. So we substitute in 0 in place of the x. So we would have 0.070 times 0 squared plus 15.79 times 0 plus 463.3. When you evaluate that, and you can certainly do that in your head because 0 squared is 0, this simply becomes 0. And of course, this is 0, which then gives us 463.3. Now, that's 463.3 thousand. We're asked to round to the nearest thousand, so it would be 463,000. And that's the value f of 0, which corresponds to 1980. Well, what about 1995? Well, we would simply subtract 1995 minus 1980, and that would give us an x value equal to 15. So we want to evaluate f of 15. And that means substituting in 15 in place of x. So we would have that it's equal to 0.070 times 15 squared plus 15.79 times 15 plus 463.3. I recommend using a calculator to evaluate that, where you'll find that f of 15 is equal to 715.9 thousand. So when we round that off, we want to round the 5, so we look at the 9, and it tells us to round this to 716,000. And now for the year 2009. We subtract 1980, that gives us x equals 29. We now evaluate f of 29, which means we have 0.070 times 29 squared plus 15.79 times 29 plus the 463.3. Again, using a calculator to evaluate that, we would find that f of 29 is equal to 980.08 thousandths. Rounding that off to the nearest thousand, we would round off this digit 0. We look to the right where we see 0, so we leave it alone, and we write 980,000.